Hello, this is Rick. It's another episode of mine, and today we're going to talk about something very special to me. We're going to talk about one of my friends. He's actually, or she, or he, I don't know. They're not really my friend, but I like to think they are. We're going to talk about the Loch Ness Monster, and where it originated, and where it comes from, and what it really is. Cause I know what it is. So just listen, cause it'll be good. So listen. As most of you may know, Loch Ness is actually a lake in Scotland, and it holds a deep, dark secret. Not only is it beautiful and pretty and green and lakey and has water in it, it holds a dark secret. There's a creature in it, and people don't really know what it is. Some people do, like me, but some people have called it a water horse, which is technically correct, but yeah, it's kind of not as swell. You'll see. Just here, I have a story about it. It's kind of a long story. Not really. I'll try to take 2 minutes about it, but this is it. Here we go. A lot of people call this creature in the lake the Loch Ness Monster, but that's not really correct. It's actually not a monster, it's a beast. And so you may say, well, now, Rick, what is the difference between a monster and a beast? I mean, come on. And I'm going to say, well, you come on. It's really quite simple. A monster is something that's big or small, and it's a creature that is highly dangerous, and it lives on its own, and it finds its own food, and it is free to roam the world or wherever it lives. In this case, the Loch Ness Monster is not a free creature. It is actually owned. That's a beast. A beast is something that is owned, and it's not free. And that's Loch Ness Monster. Loch Ness Monster is actually owned by a league of mountain dwarves that live in Scotland. Now, the Scotland mountain dwarves were in a war with the rogue mermaids of Lake Ness, or Loch Ness. And they didn't really know how to get rid of mermaids because dwarves are land animals, and mermaids live in the sea, and they were at war over a rune stone that they had. And the mermaids wanted it because they thought it belonged to their gods, but the dwarves believed that it belonged to their gods. But really it belonged to the Cloverfield monster. But that's a different story. Anyway, the point is that they were at war, and the dwarves needed something to kill the mermaids. And the mermaids are long extinct now, so they don't live in the loch anymore, but to get rid of the mermaids, they had to get a monster, and they had to train it. They had to make it into a beast, so they made these beasts, as you know, as the Loch Ness Monster. And they're actually water horses, and they're very rare, and they can only be found in the Indian Ocean, which is pretty deep, and so you really don't see them in the Indian Ocean anymore. Now you only see them in Loch Ness, because the dwarves, they got them into the lake somehow. I think it was by boat, yes, and they put them in the lake, and they told them to eat the mermaids, which they did. So that's why there's no mermaids left, because the Loch Ness beasts, they ate the mermaids. And now there's only about 5 Loch Ness beasts left, and they still live there, so you can see them. That's why there's still pictures, but they're still looking for mermaids, because the dwarves have long since ran away with their runestone. And I think they live somewhere in Wales. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe they're in Wales. Well, since the migration of the dwarves, the Loch Ness Monsters have pretty lived in peace. People want the dead body, but that would be wrong. There's wizards and witches in Scotland that believe we should save it and let it be, because, what if the mermaids come back? You just don't know these things. They might come back, I don't know, but if they do, that would be pretty scary, and we'd be thankful that the Loch Ness Monsters were still there. So this is the theory, and it's actually not a theory, it's a true story. If you don't believe it, you should. And we'd like to keep it that way. A lot of people do, because it's the true story, and that's what happened. And I'm not lying. If I was lying, my name wouldn't be Rick. And if you don't believe this, you probably believe in my other theory that I used to have when I was younger. This is a picture of it that I drew. This is an octopus with a hand puppet. And I thought that the octopus had a hand puppet, and he was teasing people, going, "Look, I'm a monster! Oh, I'm a monster!" But octopuses aren't monsters; they're octopuses. But he had a hand puppet, and he was teasing people. And his name was probably Bernice, and he had a hand puppet with the Loch Ness Monster head on it. What a silly goose! But that's wrong. My other theory is correct. It is a true story, and that is where the Loch Ness Monster came from.